Hey guys, this is Russ and Ashley, and this is She Wolf Alchemy. And today we are talking about our favorite movies, our movies that made us. So, Ashley, let me start off with what is your favorite movie of all time?
Oh my God, that's a big question. Oh, that's a big question. I think my of all time, it's Slumdog Millionaire.
Mm, yeah.
It used to be Vanilla Sky.
Hmm.
When I saw that, I don't remember how old I was when I saw that, but then like one day I realized like I was showing it to someone. I was like, "Oh my God, this is my favorite movie. Like you have to watch it." And then I was watching it and I was like, "You know what? I've seen better movies."
Yeah.
Since I've seen this movie and it didn't hold up. But Slumdog Millionaire is my favorite. I just love I love the story behind it. I love the concept of how like through living life. Because
Yeah.
that was I mean it was based on a book, but just the concept of like through living life, like you can gain these experiences and knowledge and things because the fact that they were like, how do you know this stuff? And he's like, because I've lived a dynamic life.
Hmm. I have never seen that movie.
Really? It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I don't even know what it's about. Like, I know it's
You know
huge.
what it's about?
I don't even know what it's about. Y'all,
It's a,
y'all
it's
really
about
underestimate my ability to be like, I don't care what the world's doing, and just going about my business. There are
and right
so
and
many cultural references that I just do not know that I
that's
should.
that's fair. And see that one, I think I did see it because it was getting so much like
Hmm.
recognition that I was like, okay, what is the big deal? And then I watched it and I was like, this movie.
Hmm.
And it's like about a young Indian kid who wins how to be a millionaire. And
Hmm.
basically they accuse him of cheating. And so they like take him to the back and beat him up. And they're like, how
Who
did you
wants to be a millionaire? Is they got hitters?
in India?
Hold on.
India. Because they're like, you're cheating. Woo doo woo. So they pull him to the side to like rough him up and how do you know this? And so he gives like kind of a so he starts telling his story and he gives like how I know the answer to this question. Well, when my mom died, blah blah blah, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he starts sharing different experiences about his life and like how that's how he knew all the answers to these questions. Like they were just versus they're like, you're a slum dog, so you shouldn't know things.
Yeah. That sounds beautiful. I'm not gonna see it, but that sounds really
Oh,
beautiful.
come on.
I'm really a big comedy person. And so if when it's not comedy, it's one of those like a blue moon kind of occurrence type of thing. Like I can't do anything that if it feels like it's gonna be heavy and sadness and trauma, I'm just like, I'm good. I'm good. I get trauma for free. I'm not gonna pay for trauma. I'm good. But I do like it. I do like it. Every now and then I'll get trapped somewhere, like on a plane, and then a movie is playing. I'm like, ah, freak. Now I gotta watch this. And then I'm glad after. And I'm like, oh, this actually was nice. This was a beautiful thing. It's just not, yeah, when I'm choosing by myself, I tend to go for comedy.
So then what's your favorite movie of all time?
Um, probably Kirkland. Or no, that's a lie. It is A Bronx Tale.
I've seen that.
You haven't seen that one?
Nope.
Oh, it's a beautiful story. It's 90s, I think. Robert De Niro, main character, is an Italian American. They're living in like the 50s, maybe. I might be wrong, y'all. Don't know nobody comment under our post. Like, girl, that was 1978. What are you talking about? But I want to say it was like the 50s. And it follows him as he's like wanting to be a wise guy and so forth.
Uh,
But while he's at school, yeah, one day he sees this black girl, absolutely beautiful girl, and he is just mesmerized by her. But of course, it's back in those times, and so like, oh, I can't approach her. But they slowly start to get to know each other, start falling for each other. Whole bunch of other things happen, and then we get the seat. We get the seat moment where like that used to be a thing when I at least when I was in like high school, whatever, they'll talk about the car lock move. And that comes from that
mhm.
movie where a guy opens your door when you guys are about to go out on a date or something, puts you in a car, and watches to see if you try to go over to the other side to unlock the door to show you are compassionate and you think about others.
You know what?
Blah, blah, blah. But
I
that comes from that movie.
gotcha. You know what? I might have actually seen it and just didn't know that's what it was. But
Hmm.
it's funny you say just like that scene because I've
Hmm.
thought about that recently of like in nowadays with like electric lights, like electronic, like like how do I prove that I appreciate you opening me?
The car unlocks soon as we park, which is not
Right,
safe.
right. Like how do I now what do I do? I mean it's but yeah.
You show their face on Instagram, I think. I think that's like all we got now.
Okay.
Show a picture that is not blocking his face. And like that is
I
I
don't block people's
care
face.
about you. I am scaring away all other potentials. What else do you want from me?
That that's hilarious.
So definitely that. But also I'm a person like it depends also on the category. Like your favorite movie all the time. Like I have a favorite comedy. I have a favorite
Mhm.
animation. I have a blah blah blah. Actually, I don't have a favorite animation. This man ruined it for me. I had a favorite
Oh,
movie that I really, really liked. And he was like, I like that movie. I too. Like, oh my gosh, let's watch it. And then he ruined it. Like he ruined fucking Thanksgiving.
oh, like did he pick it apart, ruined it?
No, he just did something right beforehand. We were supposed to spend Thanksgiving together, and I was just like, but also that was a person who like just ruined things in hindsight. Like if there's things that I loved and wanted to share them, they're like, oh my gosh, I am gonna ruin this for you so hard. And then like that was our relationship.
Oh. I was asking 'cause I know like I'm bad at like I will ruin somebody's favorite movie. Like don't ask me to watch it because I will have picked it apart and be like, what the hell is this?
Oh no, that's me too though. Have me and you watch movies together?
I don't think so. Other than that
Okay, I'm like,
Tubi
how did we
movie.
not know
We
this?
watched that Tubi movie, but that's about it.
Yes, we did watch the Tubi movie together and we picked that apart. We paused and rewind things. We
That
was like,
I mean that's what was
no.
supposed to happen, I think, when you're watching it.
Tubi,
Yeah.
interactive movies. You go pause, rewind, have whole conversations.
Yeah. Did he really just come up out of there? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Look at that. Look at that. That part went right. Yeah.
Mm-mm, mm,
But like I know somebody told me it was a guy I was dating and his favorite movie was Good Will Hunting. And I had never seen it.
mhm, mhm.
And he was like, "Oh, I just can't wait. Oh, let's watch it together. It's my favorite." And I was watching a movie and I was like, "This is ridiculous." Like
Yeah.
it was and especially when there are things because Robin Williams was a therapist or whatever in there. So there was just all sorts of non-therapy, just stuff. It was just I don't even remember Michael T. Bow. It was just corny. It was just corny. It's also a sign of the times. Like certain movies are really dated by like the tropes that they use and
Hmm.
the language that they use and the sex.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So me and you ruin movies in two completely different ways because that's not at all how I ruin movies. I'm definitely yeah.
no, I'm like, why would he say that? That don't really even blah 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 blah. How did
Yep.
this is stupid. Wow,
I
these
am
people
the
would never meet.
I am the person that figures out the plot on accident and then just blurts it out.
Ah,
Oh, that's his mama. That's his mama. He don't even know. Yeah, no, remember in the beginning? She gave up the baby, the random person they never talked about. That was his mama. That's why he killed him. He gonna kill him too. He the killer. They all gonna die. Watch, what? See, and that's how I wrote movies. And then people just be like,
now I do
I know you're smart. Good for you.
it's not my fault the plot's predictable. Now I definitely would ruin something like that. I'd be like, look, I was talking to somebody about this recently, like how you just know that if the movie or the show or whatever starts off with like a loving couple and they're just sharing memories and dinner, somebody about to die. If it's like a drama, like up the wife, especially if it's like a movie about like some Superman or some action man, you
If it
know.
is a
Like,
Disney movie, the mama is not gonna make it.
it, women will die. Further the storyline every goddamn time. That's the actual I don't like back in the day there was this maybe they still exist, this YouTube channel called Feminist Frequency and they like would assess these tropes in movies.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them they called that one the women in refrigerators trope. and it's based off of like something that happened in a comic book where like
Mhm.
the superhero's wife, who was also a superhero, was like found in a refrigerator. And so they were bringing up the point that even when there are characters that are like good solid characters, like not, I don't even want to say, we're getting better at making good female characters, but it's not always been that way. And so like
Yes,
they
the
were
90s,
saying,
I was there.
right, even when it's someone who's like, oh, they have this skill and that skill and this skill, when their storyline is to be sacrificed for the male, they'll just be like, oh, and then she died. And
Yeah.
they die in the most, like, we don't even get to see them valiantly fight. We don't even get to see them, they just dead. And now he gets to go off and have
You
his.
know what's coming to mind, and this is not at all what you're talking about because she was only in
Mm.
the movie for 5 minutes, but it immediately came to mind was in Wakanda where the Michael guy that y'all love, he killed the girlfriend. Where they were like, "Oh, we're gonna kill her," and he was like, "Pfft, I'll kill her next." And I was just like,
Expendable character.
"Okay."
Yeah.
Like we was just loving up on her, getting this money with her, and then you sacrifice. You didn't even try. You killed her. They were like, "I'm going to do it," and you were like, "I will do it. Let's speed it up." And then she just died, and we just moved on, and we never talk about her.
Yeah, now that you just brought that up. I'm like, but that's the thing. They just, yeah. So anytime a movie, like if it's an action movie and it starts off with a couple, I just know. If the wife dies, the husband's gonna go on a killing spree. And if the husband dies, the wife is gonna cry a lot. She's gonna be somewhere shouting at people. Like she's gonna have to really advocate.
You know what? Now that you say it, I am thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, when the wife dies, they have one silent tear that falls down their eyes, and then we never see them cry again.
They
They
just go
just
off
they
and
just
murder.
kill. They just start killing. And then they're healed, I guess. Then they end up in the closing scenes on a beach in Mexico.
Right. And we're not gonna talk about the
Oh,
extended.
he gets to also fall in love with a girl that was half her age that he meets along the way
Yeah.
for killing and
Yeah.
avenging his wife.
Right. And
Which is why I love Mr. and Mrs. Smith because I was just like, ha, yes.
that's definitely now that's a top, like top five, top 10.
Yeah, I do love that movie.
But you're right. Yeah, there's a lot of like, yeah, that trope bugs me.
Tropes.
Yeah, that's trope. That's it. Yeah, that one. I was talking to somebody recently about the manic pixie dream girl. That's the name.
Man, look. All
The
through high school, all through high school, that's when all the girls were like the manic pixie dream girls with the blue hair and like the cutesy, quirky shoes. And everybody wanted to be Summer from My 500 Days of Summer. Everybody wanted to be the girl from Scott Pilgrim Saves the World. And I was just like, oh, I don't think like I did not like either one of those characters, but okay.
right, because the whole premise of most of these characters is that like there's nothing to them, right? They're literally just here to be like life and like frolic about and
Mhm.
further along some boring man's
Her
story.
energy. I can get behind that. Her energy just changes you.
She either don't have a job or she got eight fucking I think about what was that damn movie with Jennifer Lopez where she was marrying someone. That narrows it down.
Yeah.
Monster
Oh
in Law.
yeah. Yeah.
But even in that one, like she had like eight damn jobs. She was just this like, and then I remember even the wedding scene. She was like if it wasn't for Jane Fonda, that movie would have been trash. She made that
Right.
movie. Like even the conversation of like I'm more spiritual than like blah, blah. Everything was so like I'm so fairy god. I just hated it. Character very much. But yeah, that's a trope that like bugs me.
I am tired of the black woman struggles through everything trope. I am in a place where, which is a big part of like that. No, I just really want to do comedies for the most part. I really hate trauma porn. I really hate that, like, if it's a black movie, like, and it's not comedy, like 50% it's gonna be slavery.
Mhm.
Like, it's just gonna be slavery. Like, let's
Oh,
slavery, racism, it's gonna be the feature focal point in some way. But if it's not that, then it's just those like, I struggle. I'm a good woman, but he's gonna cheat on me. He's gonna beat me. I'm gonna lose my job, lose my edges, but God.
Oh,
and
crazy.
then she gets a nice blue collar worker man who
You're talking
who
about something
the moral of
very
the story is
specific.
that anyways, we're not gonna get into that. I don't want to be that podcast. I don't want to be that podcast. But anyways,
But no,
I'm tired of that trope as well.
term for it. That's like, oh no, that's misogyny or something else. But like, but like, no, I agree with you. I don't like, yeah, the struggle movies, the black. Like, I did not want to watch Precious. I had no interest in my life, and then I had a social work class where they were like, "We're
Yep,
gonna watch this movie and we'll assess
same.
it," and it really pissed me off. One, to be subjected to that movie because, my God, I don't know why anyone like now those types of movies. No, I do not want to see them. I am not going. I movies are for entertainment. I don't want to see that kind of struggle and sexual assault and abuse and oh my God. Oh,
Hmm.
made me so fucking uncomfortable.
I too had to see it in the social work class. Me and Neek were in the same class, like we saw it together, and because it was a movie, she was not thinking like, oh, they're going to show this. And when the essay, the sexual assault was occurring, she didn't know what was occurring, and so I was like, oh yeah. She was like, wait, who is this? I was like, that her dad, and she's like, hold the fuck, like she had a whole moment in class, like why are we watching this? But yeah, no, what is her name? I do love the actress in it, Gabby. I actually really enjoy her works. I love whenever I see her in anything. So I'm glad she got to get that role, breakout, and so forth. But yeah, I don't want to feel the emotions that those type of movies give me.
Exactly. That's why I was like, it just made me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I
And
am.
even to have used it in a class and be like, oh, this is first, it's based on it took three horrible, like worst of the worst stories and
Hmm.
compounded them.
Hmm.
That that's the thing. It's like it took the worst of the worst of the worst and combined it into this one story. And now we're all gonna sit here and act like this is which don't get me wrong, some people live some horrid existence, but like whatever. That was too much. But anywho.
Well, it's not like this at all. I just want to talk about this actually, but I love hate Princess and the Frog. I love the music. I think it's a funny and entertaining movie. I actually think it's really entertaining whenever me and my daughter are watching movies and I let her pick. Like I know there's a 1 out of 3 chance that is what we're gonna watch. And I'm okay with it. I have seen it 11,080,000 times. Like it's just there's certain parts that I know all of the words too. One of these Halloweens, we're gonna dress up being characters from Princess and the Frog. I need to just go ahead and do that because she asks me every year. But with that said, like I hate it. There's parts of plots I just absolutely hate. I hate that we have, oh, this strong, hardworking black woman who does not have fun because she's overworking herself, trying to get her business, trying to make her dreams happen. Oh, this pretty yellow dude with light eyes, he's a womanizer. He don't work at all. He never worked a day in his life. He just out here just causing chaos, just being reckless. Oh, we're gonna let them meet. He's gonna teach her how to loosen up, and she gets love, and then they come together and they fall in love. The hardworking woman, this man that don't work, that's just pretty. That's a womanizer, and then they get married, and then she gets her restaurant. He does help her fix up her restaurant where he works for her. And I just like every time I watch it, it just does something to me. And I know lots of people are like, Russ, you too much into it. But maybe, but that's what keeps coming off every time I watch it. And I love the movie. It's so funny, it's so cute, but I can't help every single time. But anyways, we're not gonna get into that.
But even with like animated, especially Disney movies, like there are so many, again, like these storylines are like,
Oh
why are we telling this to children, especially young girls? I am so, which that's unfortunate because it's the young black girl that's like, I'm just work. But
there's
most of them,
literally a scene where like her friends come and they're like, let's go out to a party. And she's like, no, guys, because I'm saving for my dream, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, see, she don't ever do nothing. She just work. She just work and work because she be wanting to get that money so she can make her. And I know I'm triggered because I work with a lot of black women who I am constantly be like, girl, self care. Slow down. Let's enjoy things. Okay, now we reach all the goals and we're still unhappy. Let's do, let's work on self. So I know that's a big part of why I get like really annoyed about it. Because I would like to see more movies, and I will go out of my comedy zone to see more movies of just like black women being black women. Just
Hmm.
every day. Like and that's the plot. Like the plot has nothing to do with trauma, was trying to succeed, with it being the first black woman, with going up. Like I don't want them to have to be the Claire Huxtable, nor do I want them to have to be the Sukihana. Like they're just a regular black girl. Just a regular black girl who happens
I
to
feel
work, who happens to date, and she just happens also to be black.
just is like,
And
nah.
just
I mean, yeah,
yeah, I
this.
really want to support that, especially them just, and I want to support more black women being loved properly on screen.
Yeah, I loved when Issa Rae did a like a love movie, and there
Hmm.
wasn't like craziness. It was just like, here's a story about two people falling in love, and they're black,
Hmm.
and it was just beautiful. It was
Yeah,
just beautiful.
yeah.
Nah, so I've said that before in a book club, and people were very upset with me because I was like, "Hey, I'm just tired of stories." Exactly what you were saying. Like, I'm tired of storylines. I don't want to read slave books. I don't like watching slave movies. I'm sick of like. I think that's why I like sci-fi so much
Hmm.
because a lot of times it's aliens, it's green people, it's all kinds of people, and they don't even feel the need to explain why these
Hmm.
people are all family. They're just all together. Different races. This woman's a hero. This like there's just so many different things that
Hmm.
happen. But I was explaining, I was like, I'm just like just what you said, like, can they just be there and just be characters in the story? Like, why do they have to like endure all of these things? And then people was bothered by me. They were older people and they were like,
Yeah,
what do you just want us to just act like slavery didn't happen? What? I didn't say that. I just said we can talk about other things. It's
yeah.
fine. And like, of course, it matters and it's prevalent, but like when I want entertainment, such as a book, a movie, TV show,
Hmm.
whatever, that's not what I think of as entertainment. And
Hmm.
also, have we not done this? Has it not been done? It's
What is
people
that?
who run to every damn because they was like, so what about Queen? What about 12 Years a Slave? What about why have you seen all of this? And the whole damn Root series and the remake and the why? Why do you do this to yourself? For fun.
Look, and if that is your fun, that is fine. I would just like want more options. I just want more options. But it definitely feels like there was a period of time where black women were represented and they were more on like the ratchet side. And it was like, this is back, we need more. And then it felt like the shift then became, okay, then let's only show the Claire Huxtables. Let's only show like the damn near perfect ones. And I'm like, okay, but can we get a middle ground? Like she is not trying to be the next top lawyer. She is a paralegal, got a studio apartment, hang out with her friends, and drives a Kia. Like that's can we just get her? Like she's just enjoying life. Everything is not about showing them how strong you are, being an amazing mother. Like it's just nope. She just be chilling. She just be chilling. I also would like to see her.
Yeah, we also give children horrible storylines about love and what they should expect from it.
Well, and then also I think it's so important because like I've talked to a lot of people, even recently, where I have asked them, okay, what did your parents' marriage or relationships teach you about love? A lot of parents of millennials, especially, it seems, were accidentally showing us some things that weren't always the best. Some of us had parents that had great marriages and great relationships, and we have great things, but there's a lot of people who did not get the best. And I think it's important to show people there's other types of love out there if you are not seeing a good love in your everyday life. And I've talked to lots of people very recently where not only is it mom and dad, not only is it grandpa, grandma, like they just did not see good representation of love anywhere.
Mhm.
So when people are saying things like, no, we're happy, we're together, there's no cheating, we work things out, we have our troubles, but it's a good relationship. We don't yell, we don't cuss, we don't break up every week, like we are mature. That's just like Yeah, that's not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a thing. And even if they're not seeing it growing up, but like not really seeing that in the media with people that look like you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we like to say these type of things don't affect us, but they do.
Yes, you're right. I mean, you only see examples of struggle of.
Hmm. That ride or die love. I want to be so clear. I am not a ride or die person. I'm just the minute you bring up death, I'm like, so I'm gonna exit the car. This is I got a whole ass kid. What you mean dying? We just
You're
jump in the car, don't ask questions. I have nothing but questions.
right. Why we gotta do all that?
Why, why is that being brought? What type of things are you doing that this statement has to be said to me? I, I don't think I don't think me and you hanging in the same circles. I don't think me and you got the same type of plans or ideas for life. I do not want to ride or die. I don't want anybody to necessarily ride or die for me. I want mature love where we make sound decisions together and we can exit the vehicle when it is no longer a good plan for us as a unit.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like recently I was watching something and it was a love storyline and the man kept saying things like, she's just so strong and I know that she would never leave and like blah 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 and was just really harping on that. And I was like, why didn't she ask, what the fuck you about to put me through? If you over here, I'm so yes, because I know you wouldn't let. Well, what kind of stuff are you trying to pull that you're
Mm.
like you need someone who you know is gonna be like? What is that?
Anybody that has the belief of, well, I need to test you first, run.
Oh nah.
Run. Don't reply back. Don't. I just want to see how you was gonna react to this.
Oh
I
no.
wanted to I wanted to test and see. Sir, we are 10 years away from middle age. No, I'm good. We're
I
good.
really
It's
want to.
fine.
I really want to hear you break down more Disney movies and how terrible they are.
And then they will never sponsor us, Ashley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I have love-hate. Yeah, yeah.
I love when people look back and break down certain movies anyway, like especially ones that like we grew up with that were like, oh, like Love and Basketball because it
Why
is.
don't please don't get me on my love and basketball.
But this is the time to do it because it is toxic. And it's just hilarious how much that movie was like pushed of like, oh, da 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 da. And then when you I remember thinking it then where I was like, so over a basketball game, he about to leave his fiance for some girl he already like y'all already, I guess because even in my personal life, we already did this.
Yeah.
Like, wow, what a not me leaving the person. He didn't seem to have no problems with that lady. There
No.
didn't seem to be any beef in his relationship. But because really? Okay. And I crack up whenever I see people post memes like imagine your fiance come and say he can't marry you because he lost a basketball game to his childhood. I'm like, see,
Yo.
that's stupid.
There's somebody listening, like, you know what? Let me save that one for my back pocket because that's slick. I mean, how you gonna argue with that? How you gonna
What that to get out of a marriage?
she yelled bucket, babe? I'm just what was I
I lost
supposed
a
to
bet.
do?
I lost a bet. I had literally that. It's like, I mean, yeah.
But on that same note, like, I mean, yes, that as well, but also just the whole thing around catering to this man's ego. Like when they first met when they were kids, then she beat him, and like there was so much ego involved. And it was like she started out younger, being like, "I don't care about your ego," and as time went on, she just lessened and lessened and lessened.
Until she literally, shamelessly.
Played this man basketball for his heart. Yo, this sounds like something in the alternative world they would pitch to be like, yeah, because this makes sense. And in our world, we're just like, they're so stupid over there. Got movies about people winning love with basketball. It's stupid. That's silly.
It ain't. No,
And
no.
I
That's
get it,
good.
because whenever I have this conversation, people are like, "It's the metaphor," and it's a stupid one.
Yeah, it is. And that's like so you saying that makes me think of which is another movie I've never really seen, but The Notebook.
Yeah, I've
Like,
never really seen it either.
but people were talking. So there's a the Bechdel test. Have you heard of the Bechdel test?
Mm-mm.
Where basically they use it for like women in movies to basically see if they're being represented. Where you like assess like are there women in the movie? Is there more than one woman? Do they talk to each other? Do they talk to each other about something other than a man? And like that's the test.
Mm.
Most movies do not pass that test.
Yeah, as you were saying that, movies was flying through my head like, "Nope, nope, nope.
Yep.
Oh, wait, wait. Now they're talking about the wedding. Nope,
Yep.
no."
I've seen people do like a series of like maybe all of the ones that won all the awards and just like go
Mhm,
that year and you can just go through and no, most movies don't. And then there are some people who take that test and apply it to like black characters.
mhm,
And yeah, as we know, most movies don't pass that test unless
mm,
it's a all black cast. But yeah, are you gonna have more than one black character? Do they speak? Do they speak about something other than the white people?
mhm, mhm.
Question. So there's this other thing I came across where they do a different type of test, and they do Steve Buscemi, is that his name? And basically, if you swap out a male character and they look like Steve Buscemi, is this okay? So is
Yo,
the
yo,
Notebook, right?
that's
He,
foul. That's so foul.
but let's be if
No.
and then,
I was listening to one of our old episodes. I can't remember which one it was, but I was just in the car. I was re-listening to old episodes, and I can't remember what it was, but at some point, and this is like like me and Neek old, and at some point I had said something of like, I'm very aware though, some of the things that I think I really like in a romantic are only a romantic if I really like the person, or else it would creep me the fuck out. And that is
exactly.
exactly what is happening here, where there's things that we're like, oh, this beautiful moment. And we're like, if it was not this 6'5" God, we would be like assault. Where are the police? What do you mean he broke? He broke into your house. He did not leave a surprise on your bed. He broke into your house.
Right. He wasn't persistent, he was stalking. This is not okay. He was
Yo, why
disrespectful.
are you
Have
making me feel
boundaries.
convicted because Joe on you?
Girl, that's not good.
The whole first season, I was very aware that it was stalky murderish. I want to be very clear about that. But I definitely was just like, but I just think Joe just need to be loved properly, Like, if
And
she would have
that's how
just
you fix it.
ignored the fact that he killed all those people for her, they would
Mhm,
have been like a really happy couple.
mhm.
Yeah.
But I think as the what I love is that as the show continues to go on, they show you that it's always something. No, he's just gonna find a
Yeah.
reason to let it go
hmm
because
When he finds a woman that's down with the murder, he also murders her and cheats on her.
she's
Yeah.
never satisfied.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, going back to what you were talking about with, like just movies that have these moments that are like romantic and then later looking back. And this isn't a movie, and I know this has been talked about to death, but like, yo, I can't watch Sex in the City as a grown woman.
Somebody like yesterday brought that show up to me.
I can't. I cannot. I get so secondhand embarrassed that I was
Mhm.
like, yo, there was a whole moment when my like 15-year-old ass was just like, yes, carry him. Yes. Girl, I think I talked to you about this like years ago.
Weren't you like rewatching it at some point for some reason?
Yeah, I was
You were
rewatching it. I can't remember. I think I was just like bored of everything that I liked. And I was like, let me go back and watch some of my old favorites. And like, there was like a point in time when all the women were just like, I'm a Carrie, I'm a Miranda, I'm more of a Charlotte. And I remember like being like, I think I'm a little bit of a Carrie mixed with Miranda, mixed with a little bit of Samantha. And come to find out the whole time I was Mr. Big. Like I had to sit down on my therapist couch and was like, yo, you
That's funny.
first of all, you're the villain of the show. Let's start there. You're none of these. You are the problem. Um, Having that was a moment. That is something that came about in my unhealed stage when I rewatched the show. on top of this is not romance whatsoever. But no, there's so many moments in that show that we romanticize that I go back and watch as a grown adult woman, and I'm like,
You're like, girl, what? Why was you doing all this?
"Hey,
What was going on?
why?"
Mhm.
I remember rooting for her and Mr. Big, which now makes sense because I was rooting for Big. I was just like, yes, Big, make it work. Back to time, I thought it was like romantic that I went back and watched as an adult. And I'm like, this man has literally shown her in every way, but straight up saying it, that he does not love her and that you cool. And you seem to love me. So I'm going to be here until I'm
But
not.
as there
Hmm?
were men who came along and loved her.
As there were men who came along and loved her.
Literally, like I think that's when I was like, you know what, Carrie, like I'm done. Cause she cheated on the one dude with Big.
Aiden, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, what is your problem? I can't do this with her anymore.
And I think though, when the movie came about and they got married, a lot of people were vocal of like, why y'all do that? Like, why y'all make them get married? But one particular scene that always kind of like, even back then, I remember kind of being like, yeah, that's kind of odd. But as a grown woman, I'm like horrified of like at the end of the show, she goes off to be with this guy who's an artist, who's romantic. Because she always says, I want romance. This man reads me love poems as he's feeding me fruit. This man tells me, I'm gonna take you on a date. I know you love fashion. He gives me the latest designer in my size. He gives me the shoes, the jewelry to match. And then he picks me up and takes me to this very beautiful exclusive place. Blah 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 blah. And then when that doesn't work out and he sees I'm not having a good time and I just want to be a Jenny from the block, he goes and takes me to McDonald's in his tux because he's trying to make me happy. And don't get me wrong, I know he was not good for her, but still grows off of him. He moves to Paris like Big Dig, except for he asks her to come. She knows he's in the middle of like the biggest like collection he's doing for a museum in his life. It's like he's not spending time with me. Even though this is the first time this man put out work in like 10 years or some shit.
Mm,
And Big sees that even though like
toxic.
legit right before she met that man, she was still, I'm here, I love you. And he's like, I'm good. I'm in Cali. I'm single man shit. Hears that she's happy. She done gave up her job for this man, everything. Go move to another country, and he goes running to her. And we were like, because that's real love. Y'all can keep that. Y'all can keep that.
Yeah, that's a talk about love tropes. That's one we can do away with. The whole like being stuck on somebody forever. Like let's throw that in the trash. Let's do that. It's really really damaging because people do it in real life, unfortunately.
Hmm.
And I think that movies and shows like make it seem okay and normal, but that shit is toxic.
Well, because you know how like,
Heal.
and it's a thing, and we know it's a thing because you'll have people to say things like that, like we're Bonnie and Clyde, we're Edward and Bella, and you're just like, that's who y'all want. That's the couple y'all want to be.
Right.
Wasn't she always almost about to leave him for a dog? Like, what are we talking about?
That's toxic. Yeah, it's toxic. It's not a good example. And also, what always irks me about these characters is when they involve other people in their shit. If you know you not gonna get over whomever, please leave me alone. Like I don't. Why? What are you doing? Why? I hate that. Just out here dilly dallying, and then some fool come calling, you go running. Just, just stay to yourself and with that fool. You don't have to intertwine other people in your nonsense. That's why I really want us to do it. Because also, because people don't heal. They really think that's cute. Hmm.
Holding a flame forever.
What do you prove? I guess that's it. Cause and I like that phrase because that's what it's like. Like, what are you? Let it go out. Okay, just let it fizzle out. Stop. I know this ain't that kind of episode, but goddamn. That's just one of them things that just like let it go. Just let it die out. It's okay. What do you need to prove by having this undying love for somebody that you are not with and that don't want to be with you?
Mm,
What do you have to prove? I want all of us to accept the idea that love can end.
yeah.
I want us to all just go ahead and embrace that and know that that's okay. It doesn't
Well,
negate.
hey, you got one believer right here with you. I'm such a big believer that love can end.
People, I ain't go there. Because I recently had an ex tell me, like, I'm always gonna love you. And, bruh, we broke up fucking, I don't care. You don't get no prizes from me because you can tell me you love me 15 years late. I don't even know. It was so long ago.
Here, let me ask you, do you still go to movie theaters? Because I no longer do theaters.
If I don't have to. Like when COVID happened, that was the most magical thing that
Look,
came from it. I really wish that they would just
yeah.
cut down on the amount of movie theaters, maybe enhance the experience so
Mhm,
that those people who want to go to the movies can have a great experience there. But like
mhm.
those of us who would prefer not to, let me see the movie.
Yeah,
If only if it's like something that yeah, I can't stream anytime soon and I really want to see it. Like I didn't even really want to see it. I went and saw Creed. I mean, I wanted to see it, but it wasn't that deep.
mhm.
But like there were like three movies out at the time that I was like, oh, I guess I'll go to the movies just to do something. But I'm definitely not a like, oh my God, I love going to the movies.
I am not, yeah, I'm not a movie person. I really had to like somebody had to really, really want to go, and it really, really was something I wanted to see, or I really, really like wanted to make them happy. And I say that to say because like my mom last year I took her to the movies. So I went with her because I know she likes movies. But like other than that, I'm not a movie person at all. I have the attention span of a 5-year old. Like a couple minutes into it, I don't want to be rude and pull out my phone, but also like I don't want to be rude and talk to you, but like, oh, don't let it be a date and I'm already feeling you because I want to hold your hand. You're so cute. Get your dimples. I get distracted. I zone out and then you ask me about it and I'm not paying it. Like I just too much is going on. Too
I
much is
used
going
to fall
on.
asleep.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And I actually I'd had the worst day of my life was at a movie theater. I went with this guy who I was like 16, 17 at the time, because I had finished up with all my high school credits except for one by the time I was in 11th grade. So I had to go to the community college. So my senior year, I actually just went to the community college. But with that said, I'm 16, 17. Everybody there is grown. And
Mhm.
so I had met this guy who was like 27, who knew my ass was 17. And back then I thought because I'm so mature. I'm just so fine and mature, you know? And he asked me to his movies. And I was like, yeah. And of course I had to sneak out because he was grown. He had a whole beard and everything. Like, Pastor Carter is not having that. You're not picking me up at my house. So I snuck out and go with him. And a lot of bad things happened that night. But one thing particularly, it wasn't until hindsight that I realized this man snuck me into the movie theater. Because he's like, oh,
Hmm.
go ahead, I'm gonna get the ticket. Just go ahead, walk through or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. So I walked through and I went to stand in line so he could get us like popcorn and stuff. And then like he came out and then he saw me. He was like, "What you want?" And I was like, "Oh." And I told him, he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, go get a seat." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then like literally a second later, he was behind me. I was like, "What you doing?" He's like, "Oh, the line was long, so I'm gonna come back after." And I was like, "Okay." And he did go back after, but later I was putting two and two together. Like he snuck me in. But we were in a movie, it was one of the Transformers movies. It was the premiere, like the first day it came out. This man was so loud and was talking back to the screen, was
Mm.
laughing like 10 seconds after everybody else started laughing. He, like, everybody was looking at us, and I was just so embarrassed because I barely knew this man. And
Oh.
I'm just like, I didn't know you had no home training, baby. Like, I did not know your grown ass said I have no home training. And he's just so loud. It's so ratchet.
That is hilarious. No, I had a friend like that who didn't like going to movies because she's that person. Like she
Mhm.
would be like, Ashley, please don't invite me to movies. Like you know I talk during movies. Like I can't shut up because we did it one time and it wasn't that bad, but she did ad lib and
Mhm.
it was a comedy and so people laughed, so it wasn't that bad, but it was like the next time she was like, please, like I talk too much during movie. Like we didn't get kicked out of it, but
Yeah.
don't take me to
Mm-mm.
see nothing scary. I feel like I'm gonna embarrass myself. So yeah, but
She can't help it. Mm-mm. Yeah, no. I do that at home, not at movie theaters. Like I have some
right.
decorum. Okay. This is not the time or space for racist commentary.
And that's why I'd rather watch stuff at home because I am a like pause it, talk about it. Wait, what? Rewind it. Like I'm that, but it takes me forever to get
I
through.
know, I know. I hated watching that Tubi movie with y'all. I hated watching that Tubi movie with y'all. Is that a black and mild in her weave? Wait, rewind. That's not even a part of the script. I think she just went on a smoke break and came back. I was like, y'all, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Please, please, let's get through this.
It does matter. I love watching movies that are absurd as
I
well. One of my friends, like Leangie, is like that's our like thing. Like, let's watch something ridiculous so we can really have that. Like, what? So she just gonna walk through there. Oh, okay. Like,
see, I don't
wasn't
like
that
those movies. I get so easily secondhand embarrassment by watching things. Like, and I am that person that will feel it in my body and pause and turn it off. And it'd be like, this is a safe place for us. This is safe. You are okay. We are gonna turn on Rick and Morty. Okay, I'll watch some Rick and Morty. Like I have to do a whole thing because I can feel the embarrassment in my body as if it's happening to me. I can't. I can't. Mm-mm.
not as
I know.
embarrassed by it.
I know you don't.
Not that I'm not don't get it from shows and stuff, but like, yeah, those types of like
No.
those storylines that are just like absurd are hilarious to me.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So, okay, so you like comedy movies. So, do you have a favorite comedy movie?
I'm sure I do.
Of like,
Girls Trip was actually really funny to me.
mm,
I didn't, I only, I don't, I haven't seen it since it came out, but I remember really enjoying that one. I like Saving Sarah Marshall and what is that one guy?
Forgetting Sarah Marshall,
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Oh, okay. Forgetting Sarah
because that's
Marshall.
one that for me, like, I can watch that movie and laugh like it's my first time seeing it.
Hmm.
Every single, it's like a top. That movie
I
is hilarious.
honestly also anything with Jason Bateman, I'm gonna enjoy.
100%.
Anything with him
100%.
in it, I'm going to crack my ass off. Just
I
his
agree.
he picks great movies, but also his delivery,
That
just
dry humor, just like
yeah.
perfect. Oh, also Paul Rudd.
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna laugh. I don't care
I
what he's
do.
doing.
I do. I really need them to stay unproblematic because I'm gonna cling to them like y'all do Kanye. Like I am a whole like if he has if either one of them have a problematic moment, I'm gonna be like,
There's no
oh,
way.
he didn't know no better. Y'all, he didn't
Read the
mean
man from the
that.
art.
He y'all, but he did Arrested Development. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna have to
yeah.
change everything I ever said about the Yeezy lovers. Like, I mean, okay, maybe we should have some compassion. I don't know. Um,
But I'm like you. I don't rewatch movies a lot. I only own a handful of DVDs, and like one of them is Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Like I don't even.
yeah.
There's a few movies I've rewatched multiple times, like, and that's like I love Quentin Tarantino films. So I have most of those, and I've seen and Kill Bill and Inglorious Bastards are like my top two favorites.
Mhm.
And I can watch those, and those are ones like if I watch Kill Bill one, I'm like, well, now I gotta watch the second one. Like I gotta make a
Mhm.
thing. It's a whole day. Those are like all of those I really enjoy, and I've seen all of them several times. And then stuff like Resident Evil. I don't know why, but like I have all of them, and I will just binge watch all of that. Like those are movies too that I've seen so many times, and I'll be like, you know what I feel like doing today? Watching all of the Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But I have another thing for like actors who I feel like they're not acting. And Tom Cruise is one of them people I do not. Yeah, there's certain. Yeah, it's people I don't like more so
There's
than
definitely certain people you could put in a movie, and I'll be like, I'm not gonna see that. Why?
I'm not. I'm never
Why
going out of my
them?
way to.
I'm good. No, there's certain
Um,
people I just literally will not see the movie because they're in it.
No, Cuba Gooding Jr. I'm gonna go- I don't like Cuba Gooding Jr. Now, Men of
Okay,
Honor,
do we need to take this offline because I'm confused. What's wrong? What Cuba doing?
he's not acting. He's just
Oh,
walking
okay.
around, and it's like, watch Cuba Gooding Jr. with some sleigh dogs. Watch Cuba Gooding Jr. on a cruise boat. Watch Cuba Gooding Jr. dress up as a. He just doing shit. He just
With
being
his
Cuba.
radio?
Maybe not when he was acting, okay, but otherwise, and no, and I disagree because I can't. Like he doesn't bring the character to me. I
Yeah.
just see Cuba Gooding Jr. playing around, and like even the only movie I've liked that he was in was Men of Honor, and that is probably more due to Robert De Niro than him.
Mm.
Like he wasn't his supporting actor, that movie would be garbage too. He's always goofy. I don't. Yeah, and I feel the same way about Tom Cruise. I feel like it's like watch Tom Cruise be a spy. Watch Tom Cruise be, it's like they're not acting.
I don't know.
Ryan Reynolds is another one. He ain't doing nothing, just
Oh,
yammering
now
away.
Ryan Reynolds just shows up as Ryan Reynolds, but also all of his parts that I'm aware of also make it a thing that like this is Ryan Reynolds in a red suit.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm okay with, but I feel like everybody's in on the joke. He's in on it, director's in on it. Sometimes the movies hint towards it, like it's a thing.
But and that's fine. But it would work better if I liked him. I guess that's the thing about
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Like
so
I'm like, yeah, I
no,
don't.
he's too Canadian.
I just don't like Ryan Reynolds. I don't dislike the man. Like, do you? But he's annoying to me, and I don't want to watch him dress up as all these different people doing random stuff. It doesn't intrigue me. Yeah, he's one I can't. But anyway, you know, there was a guy that was on social media making a point about Chadwick Boseman being in every damn biopic for like 10 years. And they were like, there's no way that he looks like I can't even let me now I gotta pull it up.
No, looking at what the real people look like pisses me off almost 95% of the time when it comes to autobiography movies. It just pisses me off. It pisses me off.
Right.
And
Girl,
I'm
but
like,
the guy was pointing out, he was like, there's no way, because he played, who did he play? Thurgood Marshall.
ain't that good?
He played him, James Brown, and oh, dang it, who was 42 about? 42 was about Jackie
Actually,
Robinson.
Thurgood Marshall is your color. What the fuck was Chapman back doing playing him?
That's what's hilarious. That's what I'm saying. That's what the guy was. He was like, I get that he's a great actor, but like, shouldn't y'all be like incorporating some
Was
sort
Will
of
Smith busy for Thurgood Marshall? Like, I'm
hit it? But again, they know Thurgood, James Brown, and Jackie Robinson. He played all these people.
yeah.
Oh gosh, love his work. Appreciate that we got so much of him. But yeah. Oh,
Mm-mm-mm. But I like some of the out of the box ones. And of course, I like the classics. I like the Nutty Professor. I like the Five Heartbeats. I like Friday. Yeah, I still like the classic ones that just remind you of what it's like when you're little. Because I think even like when we talked about with music, the same thing with movies. Like it can take you back to a certain time. There's some movies that I now recognize, like Woo. Girl, I saw like 15 minutes of Woo the other day.
mhm.
And I was just like very aware, like I like it because it reminds me of sitting on my auntie's floor with all my cousins watching it. Because the bootleg man came and we got to pick out some movies. And all my boy cousins wanted to watch Woo. So we were all sitting around on my auntie's floor eating pizza, watching this movie, cracking up. And it just like reminded me of that time.
Yeah, I agree with that. I have lots of
It's
movies.
still funny. It still have its moments, but it's like I was like 7. Why was I watching
Yeah,
this?
because when you said that, my thought was like, oh yeah, I feel that way about Booty Call.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like me, like you said, a situation like that, like a sleepover with like my friends, and like we're young, and I guess that's what the grown people was watching, and we're just here hanging out eating candy, or I don't know.
Uh-huh. I got a couple movies like that. Like I have the Soul Food with my
Mm-hmm.
auntie, and this is when it had been out for a while because we were at home watching it, and I was just happened to be laying in her room, and the scene comes on when he about to have sex with cousin Faith, and my auntie because again it's been out for a while. She was like, cover your eyes. And she put a blanket over my head, but the blanket was a quilted like blanket. So it had all types of holes. So I got in trouble for watching it because I'm like, what am I about to see? What is that? What is this? What's standing up? I would
I
like
just
to know more
my
about
mom
this.
putting her hand in my eyes.
And my aunt realized I could see and popped me on my head.
My mom used to, I'm thinking, so my mom worked in a movie theater when I was a
Hmm.
kid, like one of her, like when I was like younger.
Hmm.
And like I saw Set It Off in theaters. Like that, I'm trying to think. I think even when I think I remember watching Boys in the Hood and like I've seen a lot of them like hood
Hmm.
classics in the theaters because my mom worked there and I was just a kid hanging out at the theater,
Hmm.
running up and down the aisles with my light up shoes. But now there's definitely several other movies that are considered like for the culture and like I have not seen them because it depends
Hmm.
on where I was living. Like if I was living with my aunt who was like super religious or if I was like overseas or something, it didn't come there, I just didn't see it. And then
Hmm.
once you're an adult and you try to go back and like I had never seen Menace to Society.
Hmm.
I had seen what's it, Don't Be a Menace while drinking Kool-Aid in the Hood or whatever. I had seen that
Hmm.
movie. But yeah, but I like again, I was talking to somebody and they're, oh, my favorite movie is Menace to Society. Like, you gotta watch it. Woo, woo. And I watched it and I was just like, I didn't need to watch it. I wasn't enjoying it. And I was like, yeah, I think this is just one of the, and I'm not, and it may be a fabulous movie. Maybe it stands the test of time. I don't know. But to me, it didn't do much. And I think it's like one of those where it's like when it came out,
You had to be there.
yeah, you had to be there.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are certain movies I've tried to go back as an adult and I'm like, okay, like I need, this is a staple. I need to see this. And I'll try to watch it and I'm like, yeah, I think I just missed the movie.
I used to date a guy who was a huge movie buff, which was fine. Like we would come over, we'll watch movies all the time. It was expected. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be with him 3 nights this week. I know at least two of those nights when we get home, we watch some type of movie. No big deal. Except for he would get on these tirades because he would find out there's certain like cultural phenomena I just never saw. And the way I had explained to him was like, I was a pastor's kid. My
Mhm,
parents just randomly would go super religious on the weirdest of things, and then it ruined my childhood. Like, and that's just what life was. So, like, I think I've only seen one Harry Potter movie, which I saw once as an adult while I was on a plane somewhere.
mhm,
And so like I don't get a lot of Harry Potter references. I don't know all the houses. I can recognize when something's Harry Potter themed because I had to grow up with it everywhere. Like my whole
mhm,
fifth grade class, the theme for fifth grade was Harry Potter. Like all the books they read were Harry Potter. When we got put into like at our orientation, we got put into our classrooms, they did it by using a sorting hat. Like it was a whole thing. And what was Russ doing? Russ was over in the corner having to read Lemony Snicket.
which I love.
I can't remember it. I can't tell you what happened,
I can love it. Cities
but
of Illusions.
that was I was in the lonesome corner.
Yeah.
Often didn't get homework because didn't nobody care. But I was done over here because my mom made a call that y'all gonna talk to my baby about this wizardry.
And meanwhile, and I'm like, when I was in, so I haven't seen the movies because when I was in like fifth and sixth grade, that's when the books were coming out,
Hmm.
like still, and I read them. I read them. I read like the first four or five, I think.
Hmm.
And then by the time more of them kind of started coming out, I was a little bit older and had kind of moved on to reading other stuff and it didn't interest me the same. And then when the movies came out, I was like, I when I saw the previews, I was like, nothing looks like what I thought. And I really
Hmm.
loved the books. And so I was like, I don't want to ruin it and go see that.
Hmm.
I'll just keep my memories and go about my day. I've never seen any of them and I don't want to.
So this is another one of those things where I think it's just like, oh, we're so alike, but we're so fucking different. Because when I read, and this is cracking me up because we're the opposite in other areas. When I read, I do not imagine the people and stuff. I just read and just see the words. That's the only thing that pops in my head. Like I don't have like a whole visual thing going. Just
I
the
mean,
words.
well, my visualization isn't necessarily like
I
that.
know.
Like,
I know that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
and it's weird because you're not a visual person. I'm a very visual person. But for some reason when I read, I just the words, man. Because I've heard other people say that, like, no, they don't look like how they looked in my head. And I thought they were gonna be like this. And I'm like, girl, I forgot what they said he even looked like in the book. I have wrote
Now,
4 reports on this book and I don't even
yeah,
remember.
it definitely may not be based off of what the character was described as.
Hmm.
It could just be like who I made up. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I can tell you what they look
yeah,
like. Sure.
yeah. No, but what I'm saying is like I don't envision anything. Like I listen to I read the reading a book for me is like listening to a podcast. Like it's just words, man.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Meanwhile, everywhere else, I'm having to tell myself to ground,
mhm.
just flighty on all the other stuff. But no, yeah.
if um if we had the time to go into books and movies that aren't like the goddamn book. Movies, there are several that are not that are like
They
what
haven't turned the stories that I read from childhood into movies yet, even though
not
they keep
necessarily
saying they're going to make the coldest winter ever.
that now come on. They need to go ahead and let's go with that.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
would be instant like
Fly Girl.
hit. Yes.
I don't
Yes.
even remember what these stories are about
But
anymore,
you
but like I know I want to see it.
I do.
Well, let me ask you this on a different note. Are you a person who hates movies that have, I guess what people say, unfinished or unresolved
No, I don't hate it.
plots?
Nope, I don't hate it. I prefer those
Where
because
it's like this impossible thing, and then they're just like, and then they're better. And you're like, but how?
well, no, I
But
don't like
that don't make sense.
I don't like
It's
that
like,
necessarily.
yep, and happily ever after. Just
Mm,
things that should not happen came in and
I
saved the day. And you're like, that's not how things work. That's illogical to the way that all the rest of the movie went.
Yeah. No, that's not I what I like, I don't mind storylines that don't have to tie up with a neat little bow. Like I don't need the neat bow because it's not real life. I'm gonna be more irritated at the ending, especially when it comes to like rom-coms and stuff like that, where it's like they're running through the airport to meet the person and they gave up their whole life for this, and then they're just like, and happily ever after, cut to the credits. And I'm like, nah, y'all know full well. Not like that's some BS because they didn't this and like I don't like that. But when it's stuff where it's just like and they do it especially with shows. My cousin hates it. So we fuss about this. Like a show. She's like, I hated the ending because they didn't answer all these questions that I had.
Mhm.
They didn't tie it up with a neat little bow. And I'm like, so what? That's real life.
Word.
That's the
How many
story.
things in real life do we ever get the real final answer to?
It doesn't nothing ever ends, right? Like there's always something. So I'm okay with an unfinished kind of storyline of just like, yep, and that was the story we were gonna tell about that. And as far as you know, those characters just went on about their life and out here continuing with chaos or whatever is going on in their world. I like those types of things. But
You
yeah,
know
when
how he was being messy right before he proposed to her? He continued to be messy after.
yeah, those endings. Mhm.
But I will say though, even on the other hand, I kind of like the ones these are the ones that like drive my brother crazy. My brother hates the kind of movies that like our heroes are met in this like impossible fate and it's just like, yep, it's not gonna work out. It's just this is where they die. Like there's no way to save them. And then the writer just kind of throws chaos into it and it's like, yeah, then now they're saved anyways. And and then it can just like move on to the next part. It drives him crazy. And
I
I actually love those.
really, I get why they're annoying, and I always try to remind myself, like, well, if they died, there wouldn't be a story to continue. Like, I try to implant that thought in my mind, especially when I come across characters that I don't think are special, and everyone in the show is like, let me just give you stuff, let me just love you, let me obsess over you, and I'm like, this character. So
The
everybody who's
main
sweet this late,
character in the series Weeds.
girl, that's who I was thinking of. That's literally who I was thinking of. I
Anytime
cannot stand
someone mentions this whole topic of like characters that everybody is just like, yeah, you can get whatever you want. You're great. You're special.
her.
And no, and it does not add up. I immediately, I immediately think of that show.
That
Every single episode is just me being like, so he did what for her? I just and like her character, like she didn't have great, she wasn't charismatic. She
Nothing.
didn't really bring nothing to the
I'm
table.
a mom. No, she was just a mom selling drugs. I mean, and I watched that show all the way to the effing end. But that was a thing where I was like, so you telling me every man she meet just head over heels, give up their whole just put it all on the line
It
for
was
this lady
very, it was
average.
very, but like in every way. Like not
And
even just conversations, what she brings to the table, her work effort, like
she
her
ain't like these
parenting,
people.
just very like laissez-faire.
All of it was bad. I agree. And I was like, and people are just head over here. Like, you know how you watch certain, well, I ask myself these questions when I'm watching certain stuff and I notice something. I'm like, am I supposed to notice that? Like, are they trying to, am I, as an audience member, supposed to believe this person is amazing? Or am I supposed to have the impression that I have that they're not?
I find that I have that, especially with, I feel like in the 90s and early 2000s, this was definitely a thing where there'll be a character and they're just like, she's so beautiful. Because she's so beautiful. She is so beautiful. And I'm like, are we all supposed to believe we're all, eh, we all think she's, we're all aware. Like, we're all
No,
aware this is just an average woman, which is nothing bad being average. But y'all keep saying it like she's the most beautiful girl in the world. And I'm just like, I don't,
yeah. But see, that's what I
how
had
do
to
you
know. Like,
insist I buy into this?
I guess I'm supposed to believe this for the sake of the storyline. So, okay. I'll try. I'll take a bite.
Oh no, but I was gonna say, yeah, I do though. I like the jump in parts of that. One of my tattoos, Deus Ex Machina. I have tatted on my right arm, and it is a literary device often used in like Greek tragedies, and it is that plot line of something miraculous happened that should not happen to just flip the script around. And I love that in movies, but I also life wise as well of I don't care what things look like. I don't care how things seem. Something's gonna step in. I don't have control over. You don't have control over. Things are going. The writer has changed his mind about the hero's fate,
Hmm.
and she gets to live on to complete the journey.
Hmm.
And that is one of the plot lines I really, really do actually like. I don't care if it doesn't make sense. I don't care if it doesn't line up. The end of the story is supposed to end with her doing these great, amazing things. Plot switch, and we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, I get that.
So, with that said, guys, that is the end of today's episode. We hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe to us wherever you are listening. And of course, you can always head over to Instagram at She Wolf Alchemy and give us a follow, interact with us online. We always comment back or respond to you guys' messages. And if you need to contact us, you can reach out to us at She Wolf Alchemy Podcast at gmail.com. Other than that, guys, have a great start to your week. And you'll hear the sound of our voice next Sunday. Bye.
Bye.